Have you ever wanted to embed forms into your SharePoint pages and pass through to the form who the person is who's filling in the form? Doesn't matter whether they're an internal person or an external guest into that SharePoint site. You want to track who they are because otherwise you have to ask them every single time, what's your name, what's your email address, and start tracking who's actually submitting the form. So we use a third-party tool called Cognito Forms, and we embed that into our pages, and we have to pass through who is the person who's going to submit and fill in that form. So how do we go about doing that? Now, we've built a little custom web part to handle that, and I'll just share it here. So you can see across these two screens, so we have two different users, and it's pre-filling. It's admittedly a very simple form, but it is pre-filling the details. So you have the first name, last name, and the email address of the person who's submitting the form automatically. So we do a little refresh here. You'll see that that will pull through their details. So then you can have like any questions from that point on. You could actually technically in this scenario hide those fields because we know that it's populating and filling those through. But this actually gives you the opportunity to modify and change them. And I'll show you how that works. So I'll just refresh and that brings in those details again. Right, so let's edit the page. In this, this is a custom web part that's called the Custom 365 Embed Form web part. So we're passing through the base URL, which is just the URL of the standard form. So we're not using an iframe to embed this, but it is embedding it using iframe. But that's the URL for the form. And then we're passing through the entry parameters. So where the email is the current user's email and the name, you've got first and last name. So the first name is the current user's first name and the last name is current user's last name. There are some other tokens that we can use here. So we've got current user's email, current user's first name, current user's last name, current user's display name. So that's both first and last name. So depending on how your form works. And then we can control the width and the height of the form as well. So that's how much of the form gets displayed. So that's essentially how it works. Super simple. And if you're interested in getting this, down in the links below, you'll be able to grab it and make use of it for yourselves.